Hello and welcome to The Limelight, your go-to podcast for all things marketing and SEO. I'm Chandler. I'm a digital marketing specialist here at Digital Limelight Media, and I'm thrilled to be one of your hosts. Each week, we dive deep into the world of digital marketing, bringing you expert insights, industry news, and actionable strategies to help you elevate your online presence and stay ahead of the curve.
Whether you're a marketer, an entrepreneur, or just curious about the dynamics of digital marketing, tune in to the In the Limelight podcast as we unlock the secrets to achieving optimized impact in the digital realm.
So join Lauren and I as we explore the exciting and ever-evolving landscape of digital marketing right here, The Limelight.
Hello, and welcome back to the In the Limelight podcast. My name is Lauren.
My name is Chandler.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about SEO. We've got a special guest to come on today. But starting off, Chandler, what is your lemon and your lime this week?
Okay, so I'm going to say my lemon, because I'll do the bad and then I'll do the good. So I would say my lemon was So I talked about my vet appointment and how it was $350. So I just found out that medication was not going to be the best. So it's an additional $150.
Oh my gosh, that is really unfortunate. Animal medicine is always so expensive.
Yeah.
That really sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, additional $500 right down the drain. But then I would say probably my lime is I just finished probably one of the best books I've ever read.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Demon Copperhead.
Do you want to say that again? Sorry, I was holding the mic.
Demon Copperhead.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. If you're listening, go ahead and check it out. I believe our CEO also loves that book as well.
Oh, shout out Kyle.
Yeah.
My lemon this week is that I just broke my shoe. So super excited about that. At least they were like little cheap sandals. So not that big of a deal. I could probably fix them. If not, whatever. I've had them for a few years. But on the bright side, we have, it's a bright side and a sad side. I'll say it's a lime, but it's a little bittersweet. We're having a going away party today, and I'm super bummed. So, yeah, it's really exciting because I think we get to celebrate someone that's worked really hard at DLM. She's accomplished a lot of really amazing things. It's been so amazing to see her grow, and she just kicks butt. So we're super happy for her. She's moving on, working in the nonprofit field, and I know that's something she's really been wanting to do. So super happy, proud of her, but we're super sad to see her go. So goodbye. And then we'd like to introduce our guest today. We have one of the OG members of Digital Limelight Media, one of the owners of DLM, and our CSO. We've got Ryan Rogers.
Hey, thanks for having us.
I am so excited for this episode because Ryan is like the absolute whiz when it comes to SEO. He's like oversees everything. It's so funny because if I ever have any sort of question, I'm like, I guess it's just time to talk to Ryan.
Yeah, he really is just like the SEO whiz.
Yeah. So this week what we're going to do is it's going to be a little bit more of a different like structure of a podcast. We're basically just going to be like rapid fire asking Ryan questions just about any type of questions when it comes to SEO or anything that like we also wonder, even just like ourselves. I think also we're going to ask some general questions so that you guys have a little bit more of a better understanding of SEO in general. So Ryan, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so the first one is, I think it's a little bit of like a misconception with SEO. The first one is SEO like a one-time task? Like, is this something that like you can kind of just go ahead and like onboard and just do a ton on your website and then kind of just like let it set and then you are like completely fine? Or is that something you kind of need to like continuously work on?
That's a great question. So, I mean, if you were to do, I guess, some of the basics, like the meta titles, meta descriptions, you're going to definitely see results. But what's going to happen is everyone else that's doing it consistently is going to end up passing you in the results because they're going to continue fine-tuning other aspects of it. And so what I would say is you definitely want to continue building the links. You want to continue making changes to the website, updating the content. All of that stuff and those changes are going to help you, I guess, attract more keywords rank higher for a lot more keywords, and again, in the end, get more patients in the medical field or customers if you're in a different business.
Awesome. This one is a little bit of a two-parter. Are keywords supposed to be an exact match, and how important is keyword variation in semantic search in modern SEO strategies?
Yeah, it's another good question. So when it comes to like exact match keywords, I mean, there's definitely a place for them. So like, one of the things that I like to do is I like to try to get very high authority links. And so, for instance, if you can get a link from plasticsurgery.org, well, you might want to try to at least get an exact match keyword because it's coming from such a high authority website and it carries a lot of value. Now, with that said, you don't want to every single link word on a page, you don't want to have it say the same thing. And so again, it is also important to have a lot more of that variation, just because again, like what I always say is, okay, Google's always trying to decipher what you mean. So for instance, if we're talking about a shepherd, it could be a dog. It could also be the herder. And so, Google's always looking for some more of these other descriptive keywords to kind of distinguish, which one it is. And so for instance, like, okay, if we're talking about Botox, you can have every page, mentioning Botox, or what you can do is you can say Botox for migraines, Botox for hyperhidrosis, Botox for wrinkles, etc. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to rank for a lot more of those keywords, as well as give Google more information about that particular page, as well as the relevancy of the treatment that you're promoting.
I think it's just really interesting to kind of hear the way that you can like interlink not only just like a certain part of SEO, but into multiple parts of SEO so that you can kind of compare it to, is this the exact match?
Need a digital makeover that screams wow? Dive into DLM's Design Wonderland. From pixel-perfect social media graphics to jaw-dropping website designs, we're giving Picasso of the digital age. Elevate your brand's visual game today. Contact your marketing specialist or contact our sales team to learn more.
The next question I think is something that's also really interesting because it links another department at DLM. It's the infamous question: does more content mean that it's better SEO?
Yeah, that's another good question, and I mean, it kind of goes two ways. So like usually Google does, they usually do like seeing more content because again they're able to read it, but the other thing is user experience also has to come into it. And so like nowadays most people, they don't really want to read. Before I'm always doing tests, and so like we've tested different things like frequently asked questions. We've had bloated answers before. We've also done it to where it's one sentence and it answers the question. And so really when it comes to the content, as long as it's straight to the point, answers the question. If adding images just to be able to better explain different topics is all gonna really help out. And so again, like if your page is 500 words, usually I think that's a good starting point. But it doesn't necessarily need to be 1,500, 2,500 words to talk about a particular topic. That's something that might happen with like WebMD. But again, like I would say, as long as you're staying right around that 500 word area, and you also, mentioned the who, why, where, when, how of that particular topic, that's going to be enough, food for Google in order to really drive those rankings.
Cool. So we hear a lot of times that people assume a company with better and more engaged social media also has better SEO. Do social media metrics or anything that has to do with social media directly impact SEO rankings at all?
it's another good question. So when it comes to social media, I mean, number one, there's a couple different things that I use it for in order to get better rankings. One of the things is, whether you're creating a page, whether you're creating a blog, etc., I'm always a big fan of sharing that particular link on your social media profiles, because one of the things that Google really likes to do is they like to see how people are engaging with your content. And so by sharing it to your different social media profiles, a lot of times people are going to click on it. They're going to go to the page. They're going to start, scouring the page, maybe going to other sections of the website. And it really gives Google a better idea of how that page performs, which is a really important piece of their algorithm. And so that is one thing that definitely helps. The other thing just to think about as well is Google's also always trying to decipher, what's real, what's fake, etc. And so usually, if you have a business that doesn't have a Facebook page or doesn't have a Instagram page or any of those, usually it might just be someone that's trying to game the system and rank, as opposed to being a legit business, because most businesses are at least going to have some of those profiles. And so it kind of goes both ways. Now, what I usually notice is a lot of the companies that do have a really good social presence, they also have a really good organic presence, just because they are investing the necessary resources into all avenues of their marketing. Because again, you can think of it as a puzzle. You need all the pieces of the puzzle if you want to get the best results. But yeah, those are some I guess tidbits and things that I like to do in order to get better rankings.
I also think it's so cool because you were saying that the social media is such it's not necessarily absolutely necessary, but like you're saying, it's really, really important to be able to kind of incorporate that with your strategy. I think it's also just really important for like smaller local businesses to incorporate social media as much as it is for like incorporating local SEO. Do you think that local SEO is kind of like only matters for small businesses that are, not necessarily a nationwide company? Like, do you think local SEO only matters for small businesses?
Yeah. So when I think of local SEO, I think of like Google Places, Apple Maps, etc. And so I guess like you definitely want to have those different assets for the local side. But again, we have some very big enterprise clients that are all over the world, and we still, want to cater to their locations at a local level as well, in order to rank for some of those particular keywords, in order to, get more, customers funneling into their system. And so, I think it's important for both of them. But again, local businesses as well. We have a lot of local businesses that also rank for a lot of national keywords, and it's kind of vice versa, to where if you rank nationally, you're still ranking very highly locally. You're just going to get a lot more traffic that most likely isn't going to convert.
Interesting. So are paid search and SEO completely separate and not interlinking at all?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So I'm a firm believer, I know Google will never come out and admit it, but I am a firm believer that if you spend money on AdWords, you do typically rank a little better. Part of that is just because it would make sense if you were Google that, okay, this person's spending money, I'm going to reward them by ranking them higher. These people, they're not spending money with me, I'm going to rank them lower so that hopefully they spend money with me. Now, I'm not saying that they do that, but I am saying that I have noticed a correlation in terms of spending money on ads and, ranking higher organically. And so I do think that does happen. Now, with that said, it is still very important in order to really do AdWords in combination with SEO, if you really do want to rank a lot higher and get a lot more conversions. Both of them are gonna help get more patients and customers back to your website, and hopefully generate some additional revenue for the business.
I think it's really interesting when you kind of go into like what Google likes and what Google doesn't like, because like you said, they're kind of like the dictator of what is going to rank well. Do you think that, kind of almost going back to like the more content means better SEO, do you think that like longer content will rank better in local SEO?
Yeah, so when it comes to, I guess, ranking in locally, there's a lot of different things that you can do. So, again, you can have longer content. I feel like longer content is going to really help you rank better nationally as well as locally. But I'm always a big fan of, if we really want to, like, let's say, target certain areas, I'm a big fan of building like a specific city page that, like if it's about plastic surgery, and let's just say it's Grand Rapids, maybe the practice is over in Wyoming or Kentwood or something, then what you could do is you could build a specific page for plastic surgery in Grand Rapids, or plastic surgery in Kentwood, plastic surgery in Wyoming. Those are quick, easy wins in order to, I guess, really rank highly locally for a lot of those different areas, as well as being as specific as possible. And again, with that, I'm always a big fan of, embed a map from that particular city to your office. Mention all the different procedures that you offer, and then same thing, link to the main pages on your website to really pass that different link juice around. And when linking, also vary the anchor text. So not everything's saying Botox. Again, one might say Botox for migraines, hyperhidrosis, etc. So that's one of the things that I would say would help in that regard.
So AI is a huge, super popular buzzword right now. Mm-hmm. We just did a training on AI in office. We just did an episode on AI in the podcast. We want to pick your brain about AI a little bit. So do you think AI content will hurt SEO rankings? And do you think that AI content, or AI in general, will make SEO obsolete?
Yeah, that's another good question. So in terms of AI content, it's really hard to say. Like right now, what I try to do is steer clear of it to a certain extent. And what I mean by that is, if you got a particular page that you want to rank for, you got to obviously have some human elements. Like right now, we have 5 different content writers. They're always writing different pages. If we do need to do something like a social post, that's not going to really be ranking impacting. That's a perfect thing to start using AI for. Same thing with emails, etc. Now, again, how is Google going to be able to crack down on that? That I really don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I think AI can write better than me. But again, with that, there are certain things that AI will do. They will use these very weird descriptive words, which it's quite easy to tell that, okay, that's probably AI. A lot of times if it's a blog, they'll have like in conclusion, which most people don't put that anymore. So that's a good indicator that it's AI. And so again, does it have its place? I definitely do think it has its place. But what's important, if Google's going to crack down on certain things like that, is they're going to look at, okay, were you doing 1 blog post per month and now you're doing 10 blog posts per day? Okay, they're definitely using AI. They're going to probably penalize you. Now, in terms of the future of AI, I mean, it is something to where garbage in, garbage out. To where Google's really looking to answer most people's questions. AI does that, but it can also be very biased and kind of say a similar thing. And so really that's going to be, I think you're going to just have to really get more creative with the different articles that we're putting out there to really be able to differentiate your website from all the other websites that are also using AI.
I think it's kind of crazy how fast AI has become a part of every single person's life, and like even just in marketing in general, how like useful it can be when it's used obviously correctly. I think when it comes to like strategies of SEO, do you have like some often forgotten strategies or things that like people will forget about that are actually like really useful and will help with SEO?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, and I'm just going to speak for the medical industry right now. So, like, a few years back, Google came out with the Medic update, and really the whole purpose of the Medic update was was all these websites were given medical advice, but it wasn't from medical doctors, and so a lot of people were taking the advice. They were on a good day hurting themselves. On a bad day, people were getting killed. And so really what Google did is they really tried cracking down on that. And that's kind of when they released the Medic update. And really what the Medic update is just making sure that, it's called expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, making sure that, the different sources that were providing this medical content are in fact, medical doctors. And how they went about doing it is, number one, is there an author? Is there an author that's taking credibility of this, of the content that's on the website? So that's something, that, okay, I'd recommend everyone to do. Number two, are you citing different sources throughout the internet? If you have different sources to different medical journals to really say this is why you can trust my content, and this is what's making it up on our website, then again, that's going to also add a lot of that credibility. And then again, for the medical side, there's certain websites that you have to be a doctor in order to get links from. So like you got Health Grades, you got Vitals, you got WebMD, etc. So all of that criteria really helps establish that expertise, authority, and trustworthiness in order to really prove to Google that, hey, this is a website, this is a medical website, you can trust the content because it has all of these things. And so that's one of the keys here in the medical industry, and something that I always do with all of our clients is just making sure that all of those little aspects are filled out to really scream trust in Google's eyes, so that they can trust the content on that website, and furthermore help that website rank higher in Google. And again, there's a lot of people that don't do that. I hope they continue going that route because I like to have advantages, but that is one thing that I do see working quite well.
As we close out the end of our questions for you today, we've got one more. If you had one piece of SEO advice to give to a small business owner, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a good question. Really, I guess it comes down to the industry, but the best piece of advice that I could give any business is, one of the things that's baked into Google's algorithm is going to be just the freshness of the content. And what that means is, if you have a bunch of websites, your website was updated within the last month, the other person's website hasn't been updated in 10 years, you're going to definitely have an advantage over them. And again, you don't have to completely revamp the page. It could be as simple as adding a frequently asked question here, which again is going to add more keywords. It's going to add more content for the users. It's going to also show Google that you updated that particular page. And so it's a really easy starting point, is just, going from page to page, updating the content, making sure that everything looks fresh in Google's eyes is going to definitely help you rank better for those particular keywords.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with Chandler and I. Any last remarks? Anything you want to shout out?
I mean, I just want to shout out Team DLM. They work very hard for their clients. They're always going above and beyond. They're always, throwing ideas around, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to getting the best results for the clients. And it's something that I really appreciate about the team. I really love working here and being able to help other businesses as well as practices grow, because it is something that I'm truly passionate about, as well as the rest of the team.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for hopping on. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you're enjoying. But until next week, Lauren, do you have anything else?
Go DLM.
Go DLM.